Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mitchell Ringos. Thunder Bay Fire Rescue crews responded to a possible structure fire in the 1200 block of Donald Street East today at around 1:30 in the afternoon. The crews were met with a content fire with heavy smoke on arrival, which was quickly brought under control. There were no injuries and the fire was limited to the origin area. The fire was determined to be caused by an improperly discarded cigarette. And on another note, the fireworks show that was supposed to take place tonight on Mount McKay has been postponed due to safety concerns. The fireworks will now be set off at around 11 o'clock Tuesday night. And a new exhibit at the Thunder Bay Museum aims to educate the public on a dark chapter in Canadian history. The exhibit, called Killing the Indian in the Child, Generations Lost, looks at the origins, evolution, and ongoing impacts of residential school system nationally and right here in the city. The exhibit is on loan from the Legacy of Hope Foundation with added information and artifacts from the local St. Joseph Residential School and Indigenous art on loan from the Thunder Bay Art Gallery. Michael DeYoung, the museum's curator and archivist, says the museum is working with Fort William First Nation to develop the local content.
We need to raise greater awareness of what St. Joseph's School was, that it was part of the residential school system. It did take students from Indigenous communities across northwestern Ontario, and it did have those same negative impacts that other schools like Cecilia Jeffrey did. So we just really wanted to bring that home to Thunder Bay.
The exhibit will be at the museum until October 16th and is included with regular admission. The First Nation of Beek-Tigong Nishnabeg, formerly known as Pick River, is making headway on plans for a new water treatment plant. The current facility, built in the 90s, is nearing the end of its life cycle, and the growing community will likely have to get creative in the design for a new plant. Corey Nordstrom has more.
Water filtration in the community of Beek-Tigong Nishnabeg is complicated. The First Nation sits on the shores of the Pick River, merged with the Black River. The latter is partially contaminated water, with the Pick being heavy on sediment. That's why Daniel Michano, consultants, and First Nation leadership have had a difficult task in creating a plan for their new water treatment plant.
The proposed intake will actually come from Superior around one of the coves just to the north of us here. From there, it's trucked 4 kilometers or piped 4 kilometers to a current a filtration system, and then from there another 2 kilometers where it's being distributed to the community.
Surpassing 30 years in age, the current water treatment plant is past its lifespan and will need to be replaced, with the new build giving the First Nation the ability to add new subdivisions to what is a rapidly growing community.
With our current system, we're really at a bottleneck on how and our inability to grow as a community, adding infrastructure.
The community has grown, the demands on the treatment plant has grown, and of course new technology means that they can provide water, clean water in much more efficient ways. So it was really exciting to hear that their project was approved just recently.
One issue faced by community members with the old system is the lack of water in cases of emergency.
We get the fire crew coming in, tapping the system. Well, that's our drinking water, and the current system turns around and has the inability to keep up even to our daily demands. So that's what turns around and puts us in a lot of the boil water advisories.
The project for a new water treatment plant is in its tendering stage. The community will likely have a timeline on when they can break ground by late July. Corey Nordstrom, TBT News.
Some students at Confederation College have spent the last few months constructing a birch canoe. The Embark program is a way to honor Indigenous knowledge and teachings, and the students and faculty recently hosted a feast and launched the canoe in the McKinty River. About 100 people recently gathered outside the college for the big event. Embark is an Indigenous STEM program and just completed its first year. The project was not only to educate the students about Indigenous culture, but also to teach them about teamwork. Program manager Alicia Brink says they'll only do the canoe buildings every 2 years, so next year the students will be making snowshoes. Both students and faculty were excited to launch the canoe after months of hard work.
Oh my gosh, it's an honor. It's exhilarating. The drum made the bridge vibrate. So not only was it like thrilling, but you could actually feel viscerally the excitement in the air.
It felt good rowing the canoe and placing it in the water, because it was the way the indigenous people and our ancestors traveled across the land.
The Embark program had just 3 students this past school year, but they're hoping to have 15 enrolled in September. And while talk of a proposed palladium mine continues, the search for industry in Marathon has pivoted towards an unlikely sector, fish farming. The trial run will see a small 4-pool facility raise rainbow trout this summer to see if a year-round operation is feasible. Adam Riley has the details.
Each of these 4 pools are almost squared at 90 by 90 feet and 45 feet deep and are home to 300,000 rainbow trout. This is a pilot project and expansion being undertaken in partnership between Coleman Road Foods Incorporated and Beektagon Nishnabeg. Susan Cole is one of the owners of Coleman Road Foods, which operates fish farms on Lake Huron. But this is the company's first foray into Lake Superior, a vastly different body of water.
We really need to learn about the weather patterns. We've certainly been doing a lot of temperature probes and have probes in the water, but that doesn't actually always tell you the real story. So the idea for this pilot project is to put 4 cages in the water. Those will be stocked with fingerlings. The idea, we'd love to try and harvest these fish in the first season and let the infrastructure winter so we can see how it handles the winter.
The floating facility is moored just off of Hawkins Island and has been dubbed the Waswaganing Fish Farm. If the trial is successful, it could allow for a year-round operation in the Marathon area with an expanded facility. Mayor Rick Dumas says he is optimistic as he sees several employment opportunities that could follow.
You got the actual fish farm process, then you have potentially a processing facility that could process the fish directly here in Marathon, and of course even future opportunities, maybe looking at a feed processing facility for the fish. So you can have a 3-prong economic impact from the fishery itself.
Dumas doesn't want to put a number as to how many jobs this could bring, but he knows any new jobs will benefit both his community and Beektagon Nishnabeg. In addition to her role with Coleman Road Foods, Cole also serves as the president of the Ontario Aquaculture Association. She says the aquaculture sector has grown slowly over the years, and this pilot represents the first new facility built in 20 years. She also notes partnerships between industry, communities, and First Nations are the way of the future for the sector.
Everyone is part of that consultation process, and everyone has to have some ownership. And there's also a lot of history and territorial knowledge and cultural knowledge and fisheries knowledge that is held in the community that I, as an industry person, am not going to know. So to have those partnerships, I think you have the opportunity to have best practices and create the best institutional knowledge moving forward.
Adam Riley, TBT News.
Local ham radio operators recently participated in the International Amateur Radio Field Day and were able to contact radio operators from all around the world. The group made over 200 contacts in a 2-day span and exchanged information with operators from different countries, including Chile and Japan. The local operators held a family-friendly event where even kids got a chance to make contact on the radios. Radio operators can earn points by the amount of contacts made and earn a certificate and worldwide recognition if they have the most points. The main purpose of the yearly radio exercise is to test their equipment and make sure they're prepared in the event of a natural disaster. Eric Todd, president of the Lakehead Amateur Radio Club, talked about the importance of ham radios, especially in a time of crisis.
The communication that we can send is both voice, digital as in typed out messages, and we can actually send small files or pictures in the event of a natural disaster, and we need to explain to officials what the local emergency management people are looking at. We can send those pictures to outside of our area if we're cut off from the rest of communications.
And after a 2-year hiatus, the Friends of Chippewa Park have brought back the popular outdoor concert, Sundays in the Park. Each Sunday until Labor Day, the park will have local bands performing from 2 to 4 p.m.
To make those rainbows in my mind, I think of you sometime. I want to spend this time.
Southern Comfort was the opening act this afternoon and performed on the outdoor stage behind the pavilion. The concerts are designed to celebrate the musical talent in the community and provide a broad range of residents the chance to get outdoors. The concerts are free for everyone, and while there will be seating available, visitors are encouraged to bring their own chairs. The concession stand will be available inside the pavilion with snacks and drinks for sale. Friends of Chippewa Park President Lorraine Lortie says they've really missed Sundays in the park and have been looking forward to bringing people together once again.
It's great. We've been looking forward to this. It's really nice to hear the rides going and see the people, listen to the kids laughing on the playground equipment. It's just nice to feel like we're all coming back now.
Next Sunday, Windsong will be performing at the park. Residents can find the full performance schedule online at chippewapark.ca. We're now joined by sports anchor Corey Nordstrom. Now, a lot of people here at TBT think they're good at golf, but some actual good golfers got on the green this weekend.
You know what, Mitch? I actually could have gone pro. I just wasn't good enough. I'll have more on the first local Open of the year after the break.